Growing up, kids need to memorize a lot of information. Some of this memorization happens in a game or a playful environment where each memory is connected to the specific story in the situation. Yet sometimes kids are asked to remember seemingly random and unconnected facts. Any memory specialist knows how hard it is to remember something that stands alone. This is why there are complex strategies of making each piece of information memorable, relatable, and relevant, and then reviewing it many times to enforce the right associations. In addition to visual memory, most of these strategies involve connecting the new information to the stuff that we already know. This is because it is much easier to connect facts to each other and trick our brains into thinking something is relevant to help remember a whole topic rather than trying to remember one small fact which is unconnected to anything that we know or care about.
Neurologically, the reason for this is really twofold. First, biologically, our neurons organize themselves into clusters called neural networks, where each neuron reinforces its neighbors, and the more densely connected together a cluster of neurons is, the more memorable it becomes. This is commonly referred to as Hebb's law, and summarized as neurons that fire together, wire together. The second reason is that if we can remember how to work our way from one fact to another, it is enough to recall just one memory, and the others can be reconstructed from it.
There are several simple and practical ways to eliminate standalone facts for our children. The first way is via a story. Help the child generate a story where different facts follow one from another in a funny or in a reasonable way. Stories are very natural for us, and kids are especially good at remembering them. Unlike grown-ups, kids are still learning to control their excitement level. If the story is too exciting or it is too boring, the child will not be able to continue with it. Fables often have just the right amount of the excitement for the kids to remember. Try together with the child to weave the facts into a fable. If you succeed, the child will remember.
The second way to remember facts is by grouping them together into a chunk and connect them to pre-existing knowledge. Chunking is a psychological phenomenon whereby our brains are able to group items together for easier storage and memory. To take advantage of both chunking and Hebb's law, you can simply ask the child to compare between different facts and see what is common and what is different between them. Maybe the child has some memories or myths that support the facts they need to learn. We adults share a very similar and somewhat boring world of ideas, but kids are creative, they believe in magic, and their world of ideas can easily surprise us.
Mapping our ideas can also be very effective. Kids often feel very good with the most basic of mind maps, where you put the main idea in the center and show how other ideas radiate from it. When making such a mind map with a child, try using colored pencils and a big piece of paper. Ask the child to draw small visualizations to the main ideas within the mind map. This has an added value of helping you see graphically what the child has understood.
Don't focus on the specific details of organization of information, but instead on infusing meaning into the organization itself. The more detail and interconnection between the thoughts and ideas, the more rich and dense the neural networks can become, and the more ingrained in the child's knowledge. So colors, drawings, stories, and games can all infuse meaning and relevance into why the ideas all fit together in one way or another. And these are some of the absolute most important tips if you want your child to have a super learner, super memory.